We do the same thing. We employ people in the big issue who have problems. They may still be coping with mental health problems. I assure you, I'm still coping with mental health problems. And I don't care anybody knowing that. Anybody go out for a drink with me and you are asking for trouble. But the point is, we are coping with the problems. There are all sorts of ways that we can help the people off the streets. But the thing is, it's a bit like this. Sometimes you don't have to do much, and sometimes you have to do a tremendous amount. And it is varied. It's not that they're all mentally ill, it's just that they are all mentally challenged. The last point I would make is about love. I was at an event, I won't tell you, a Christmas event. And what happened at this Christmas event, I won't tell you what, you can guess for yourself. And suddenly people were giving out condoms. And I turned round and said, when do the women arrive? And they were alarmed and they were annoyed. And I said, look, what is the point of giving out condoms to people when they can't even have relationships in homelessness? Love is so important. Belonging is so important. And we often do, and I'm glad the lady raised the question about that, the sense of belonging. What gets most of us out of the grief in the end is the fact that we meet somebody. Not that we get the best psychological help. It's because we get somebody who helps us cope with the madnesses of our lives. And that is really important. And we should always remember that some of the best work that's been done is about putting people together and making them feel whole and human. That's my argument.
Thank you. And a quick moment from Jenny, and I've got 3 questions.
Yeah, I agree absolutely with that point about love. You know, that love is the cure for everything. And one of the things for people...
I feel all overwhelmed. I feel kind of, sloppy and...
Can we all turn the lights out now?
I feel the love in this room right now.
At the root of some of the homelessness that has been very ingrained for some people and has been lifelong is the fact that their childhood didn't have enough love in it and had sometimes some very abusive and neglectful circumstances. I was listening to somebody just before I came here talk about his whole homelessness career, and he's now out of it, thank heavens. But he said when he went to prison, and it was a declining thing after he was in care for many years, then he was in prison. That was the first time he had somewhere that he could call home. And the research that's done about people who've had recurring homelessness, so often, their homelessness career started before they were 10 years old. And if we don't enable people to have a loving start to life, or to really focus on those children who, when they're in the papers, we all care about desperately, whose fault was it? But then we can allow children to come out of those circumstances and not be top of our list of priorities for help and investment and love, so that they can then go on to lead the lives and fulfill the potential that they're capable of. And we all lose from it. We're all connected. How come, we find it's okay not to have those people contributing everything that they can to their lives, to the lives around them? And it should be top.
One quick moment from Joe, and the gentleman in the red sweater, the microphone.
Just very quickly to say, love and relationships are very important, but there is a real knack to sustaining them. And the ability to be able to sustain relationships is something which is tricky to learn. And if we set people up to fail, if we're not careful, so I'm just being mindful of the challenges around sustaining relationships and engagement and how we support people in doing that.
Thank you. I've been waiting a long time. Go on for it.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Kostel. I'm from the Eastern Europe, and I see some things. I saw them there. I saw them here. I think part of the problems in our life starts, when we learn. That's what we do mostly in school. I don't know how big accent is here. There is not so much on personal skills. We learn, the Easterners, we learn way too much chemistry, math, and everything. Here they learn as well a lot of stuff, how to ride or different things. But I think we all lack to interpersonal skills. And then that's affect us a lot. So I don't know, I was thinking what we can do about it. I mean, really what we can do about it. I mean, this board, me and the other ones, so then we can explore the model. So we won't have problems with different colors and everything else, you know. And with the relationships, that's why they end up on the streets, right? Because of the bad relations. So, I mean, to develop a scheme or something, I don't know, to learn how to be better in relations, right? Another point is, yeah, as an Easterner, I came here and I think part of some problems is that there are too many benefits for too long. And that's a good thing, but as well it can be a bad thing because it's encouraged. You know, I mean, it really encouraged. I met so many, you know, locals, like really British people, which, you know, I met some immigrants as well, but, you know, they are relying too more on benefits. They are, you know, and it becomes a lifestyle and it becomes something, you know, like a comfort. You know, like you have a stone in your shoe and you keep it there, you just learn to live that way, you know, and people, they develop that mental issues or problems when they're getting from out of the comfort zone, right? Now you are a husband, so you bring money home or something, next day you don't bring any more money, you've been thrown out of the streets maybe, and then you start, okay, what am I going to do now? I never been on the homeless, you know, I never had problems, what am I going to do? I don't know where to go, what to do, you know, so maybe we can do some campaign as well, you know, let's reskill people. In the Western countries, it looks like, you know, it needs a person to put a nail in the wall, and then it needs somebody else to be trained to have an NVQ to take out the nail of the wall. This is a real common joke among Easterners, you know, because of our situation, we learn how to put the nail, take it out, and do another 5 jobs next to it. You know, it's not that because we are smarter or something, it's just, you know, life teaches you, right? Like 150 years ago, I'm sure every British could do like 3-4 jobs, you know? But these days, they break it so much down.
We've lost it, in other words.
Yes, because somebody worked very hard, you know, put the effort. Now the society become rich somehow. And of course, you know, there's no need for everybody, you know, to know 2-3 skills or something. But I think we have to remember that the pain which and the sweat which has been put to bring the society here, and not to forget, right? Thank you.
Thank you. The lady in the polka dot dress. It's interesting. I was in Marrakesh and I asked someone who was working at the rehab that we were very fortunately staying at about the welfare benefit system, because I had a big plight about how do you fundraise for issues to do with the welfare benefit system. And he said, I said, what happens in Morocco? And he said, well, we don't really worry about it too much. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, half my family work, half don't work. So the ones who don't work look after ones that do work, ones that don't do the rest of the stuff that he's doing in the family, and the family looks after himself. I said, what happens when there's no family to be a part of? And he couldn't answer me. He said, well, we've all got a family to be a part of. It's a very interesting mindset of a difference to where we're at. But anyway.
Yeah, one of the things that we lack in the UK is a real sense of community, generally speaking. So that encompasses, it involves love, it involves real good, solid interpersonal skills. Those are real necessities in life. The main thing that I wanted to address was well-being, which I think John expressed in terms of mental health or mental health issues. We all have mental health issues at some point in our lives, and I'm the first here. I've suffered from depression. I'm quite happy to express that. It's taught me a lot in my life, and I think that a lot of people will suffer from stress, depression, reactive depression. If you suffer from grieving, it's depression. And we can't say that someone that is homeless will have a day when they don't feel down, because they will. If they suffer from lack of sleep, that leads to a mental health issue. it's like stress and then it becomes depression. If it's long term, it becomes much more long term depression. So I think that what we need to do is look at it in terms of the levels of mental health issues and well-being, so that you can appreciate what the person needs at the other end. And once you appreciate that, you can start building relationships, building love. If you care about people, you need to show it. We as a community need to show that we care. And we don't do that by just saying to someone, here, you've got a house or a home. We do it by smiling when we walk past people that are sleeping rough. And we do it with really basic things, and then we take it further than that. But the real combination of what I think all of you are saying, and I want you to address this if possible, is that to